So, lads, today we're going to talk a little bit about Anthony Davis, who is a player that is going to be apparently traded. Apparently traded, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all for anyone, to be honest. It's not ideal for the Mavs. It's not ideal for whatever team trades for him because we don't know what state he's in physically. And it's now saying the Mavs are expected to work with Anthony Davis camp over the next 2 months to decide whether to pursue an in-season trade. They're thinking about trading him. He's going to be traded. Let's be honest. He is going to be traded. And we will talk more about it tonight if we want to talk more about this, or just in general. I'm going to be watch partying the Lakers and Thunder game at 3 a.m. tonight for the Playback's big takeover day. I will be on Playback TV/Mick Talks Hoops. Link will be in the description, and also I will be live on this channel as well. So obviously it's going to be pinned that we're on Playback. But this is an interesting thing to talk about because an AD trade. Who signs AD? Just saying, AD was a top 10 guy as recently as last season. San Antonio probably get him for pennies in the dollar, and the league's going to seriously regret it. What does the San Antonio Spurs have to give up to get AD? De'Aaron Fox and a first? I'm not joking. Is that what it's going to cost to get Anthony Davis? Because, the Spurs have Atlanta's pick. Atlanta's pick is going to probably has a chance of getting that number 1 overall pick. So, we're looking at Atlanta's pick and De'Aaron. Because, and maybe find some way to get Devin Vassell. Because, let's be completely honest, maybe you can get yourself Sohan, but you're not getting Harper, you're not getting Wemby, obviously, and you're not getting Jesus, blanking on his name, Castle. You're not getting any of those three. And you might get Sohan. You're probably getting Fox and one of Sohan, Vassell, or Johnson. And maybe the first round pick from Atlanta. And that's a maybe for the Atlanta pick. That would be scary. That would be genuinely scary. Send Wembanyama back to the Lakers. Imagine if he got sent back to the Lakers. No one ever said AD ain't good. No one ever said AD is good. If you're a Mavericks, AD is such a good acquisition, but he's not better than Luka. You brought him here because the GM thought he was going to be better than Luka. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But at this stage, it's looking like the Mavs are fucked. I think that they are smart by trading Anthony Davis. I think it's a smart move. I think the AD trade is a smart move. Because I think Anthony Davis is going to be worth significantly less. People are saying for pennies on the dollar, but I also think this is the most Anthony Davis is ever going to be worth for the rest of his career. He was drafted in 2012. Lads, we're acting like Anthony Davis is still this young player. He's not. He was 26, 27 when the Lakers got him in the first place. He was not even entering his prime. He was well in his prime. His prime was that it's 2015 through 2020. That was his prime. I'm not saying again he's been bad other than that. But people saying Anthony Davis is a top 10 player. Anthony Davis was not a top 10 player a year ago. For me, that was just people gassing it. It was people that had him as the number 1 player in the world after the bubble. And I'm there's never been a stage. AD has definitely been a top 10 player at times in his career. Last year was not one of them. But it's if you are the Spurs, I would only take AD because you can get off De'Aaron's contract. Maybe you can do a 3-team trade. You can do some sort of a 3-team trade that gets De'Aaron somebody else or somewhere else. Because that's the only way I would do it if I was if I was them. I'd rather get some picks. But to be fair, De'Aaron probably would end up getting a pick. Would he? De'Aaron be worth a couple of picks, wouldn't he? So you'd probably get a couple of picks for De'Aaron. So it's probably looking like he could like you could find some way to get some picks and De'Aaron go somewhere else and you bring in De'Aaron. Like that's all that I can think of. Another team like Miami Heat are in every single trade talk. They're never going to make it the big trade. They're just always in talks for the big trade. They never do it. So I don't see Miami. I think a lot of people are always put Miami in these conversations. I just don't see it happening. Like I just don't think Miami are that team to make a big splash. Like I know you can already do it if you get off Tyler Hero, but yeah, I don't know if Miami are willing to make this trade. But yeah, it's a mad one. Like who would have ever guessed that while Luka Doncic was still had not turned 27 years old, that Anthony Davis would be, traded. And again, the fact is that they're talking about it means it's almost certainty. Like it is I would say 80% chance that he gets traded. If they're even discussing potential trades. Nico Harrison leaving the Mavs. Hospitals, physical therapy organizations lining up to pitch their prospective NBA teams right now. Mavs reach out to figure out if AD comes with day-to-day DLC or not. Doesn't defense win championship well? Feel bad, bro. Not wanting to be a center has become his downfall. I mean, he's always been a center. And in fairness, he's just heavy. He's just heavy. Like, I think it could be one of those situations where, like, if you're I think the only team maybe that's going to take a risk on a fat AD might be San Antonio. And the problem is everything's bigger in Texas. It's just San Antonio is a bit boring. San Antonio might just be a bit boring. And, boring might be good for Wemby. Or it's not for Wemby, for AD. At this stage, boring might be good for him. But yeah, it is an interesting thing to see here. And look, I would be shocked if we see Anthony Davis on the Dallas Mavericks. And there's no point for the Mavs to keep AD. There's just not. There is nothing to be gained. The Dallas Mavericks are going to gain nothing by keeping Anthony Davis in their team. Realistically. Like, they're probably, other than like lowering their chances at getting the number 1 overall pick. And look, I'd trade Kyrie as well. Like, it all just depends on how much you're going to get for Kyrie. Like, if you're not going to get anything for Kyrie, then keep him just because he's a vet. But, like, if you can get 2 firsts for Kyrie or, like, a young player and a first for Kyrie, I'm like, go make that trade. Because we've seen it with, like, the Pistons. You can keep making those type of trades and be good eventually. Especially because it just takes longer. It just takes longer doing that. But, yeah, it is an interesting one anyway to see what exactly happens. Look, I think it's a near guarantee we see Anthony Davis traded. Like, I don't understand why the Mavs wouldn't trade Anthony Davis. Because they'll get a lot back for him. But still, you just never know. But anyway, I'll see you guys.